Have you ever watched your whole world burn down from the inside of a gilded cage? The screen of her phone glowed at 2:17 a.m., a tiny, toxic rectangle of light in the darkness of our Chicago bedroom. I wasn't supposed to be awake. I wasn't supposed to see the name flash, a name I knew from our gym, a man named Mark. Her thumb moved with a practiced, secret quickness, deleting the message before it could fully register. But I saw it. I saw the ghost of a heart emoji. She rolled over, her breathing evening out, oblivious. She thought I was sleeping. She thought I was the same loyal, trusting fool she'd married 10 years ago. But in that silent, shattering moment, a decade of trust evaporated, replaced by a cold, sharp certainty. She had no idea that I was about to become the architect of her complete and utter ruin. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The strange behavior had been a slow poison. Late nights she blamed on client dinners in the loop, her phone suddenly guarded like a state secret. When I'd ask who she was texting, her voice would turn sharp, manipulative. God, can't I have a minute of peace? You're so needy lately. She made me feel small, like my questions were an accusation, a weakness. The villains always feel untouchable in the beginning, wherein Mark, laughing together at a charity gala a month prior, his hand lingering just a little too long on the small of her back. I'd felt a prickle of unease then, a faint alarm bell I'd silenced with a sip of bourbon, dismissing it as paranoia. Now, that memory was a fire alarm, blaring in the ruins of my heart. The breakdown happened on a Tuesday, parked in my car across from the Sofitel on Chestnut Street. I'd followed a receipt I found, a charge for $200 at the hotel bar. And there she was, stepping out of a black Mercedes, Mark holding the door. They kissed, a long proprietary kiss under the amber streetlights, and the world went silent. My breath hitched. The humiliation was a physical thing, a hot, suffocating weight in my chest. I drove home in a daze, the city lights blurring through a film of tears. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in my home office, the city a glittering, indifferent backdrop, and I let the grief wash over me until there was nothing left but a cold, hard resolve. The loyal husband was dead. A strategist was born. My revenge began with a whisper. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who operated out of a dusty office in River North. He was expensive, but worth every penny. He delivered a dossier filled with photographs, dates, and times every secret lunch at Gibson's, every weekend trip disguised as a spa retreat. I opened a new bank account, quietly moving marital assets into a trust she couldn't touch. I met with the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Ms. Albright, in a glass-walled office overlooking Millennium Park. I laid out the evidence. Her eyes, cold and calculating, lit up. "Mr. Davies," she said, a thin smile on her lips, "we are going to dismantle her." The trap was set for our 10th anniversary. Jessica, ever the performer, had planned a lavish party at our Lincoln Park home. All our friends, her family, her colleagues, everyone was there. She was radiant in a silver dress, dripping with the diamonds I had bought her, completely unaware that her world was about to end. She floated through the crowd, accepting congratulations, the perfect, adoring wife. Mark was there too, of course, giving me a smug, knowing look from across the room as he sipped champagne. He thought he'd won. At 9 p.m., I tapped a glass for a toast. The room quieted. Jessica beamed at me, her eyes shining with false love. I raised my glass. "To my wife, Jessica," I began, my voice steady, betraying none of the storm raging inside me. "For 10 years, you have been the center of my world. To mark this special occasion, I have a surprise for you." Her smile widened. I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out not a jewelry box but a thick legal envelope. I handed it to her. Her smile faltered, confusion clouding her face as she opened it. Inside was not a deed to a vacation home or a romantic getaway. It was a divorce settlement. And stapled to the front page was a single, crystal-clear photograph, her and Mark kissing in the Sofitel parking lot. A collective gasp rippled through the room. Her face went white, the color draining away until she was as pale as a ghost. Her arrogant mask shattered, replaced by raw and naked panic. And to Mark I said, turning to him, my voice dropping to an icy calm, "I've sent a copy of this entire file to your wife. into your firm's board of directors. The smugness vanished from his face, replaced by pure terror. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Her friends and family stared, horrified. Her boss, who was standing nearby, looked at her with utter disgust. She was ruined, publicly and professionally. The party dissolved into a cacophony of whispers and hurried exits. Jessica just stood there, clutching the papers, her body trembling. The life she knew, the status she craved, had been incinerated in a single, perfectly executed moment. I left her standing in the wreckage of our life. I didn't look back. Now I sit in a quiet apartment overlooking the lake, the water a vast gray expanse. The city is silent tonight. Sometimes I wonder if she thinks about that night, about the moment her perfect world cracked open and swallowed her whole. I don't feel triumph, only a hollow, chilling emptiness. Revenge, I've learned, is not a fire that warms you. It's a void that consumes everything, and it leaves you standing alone in the cold. The end.